Word this morning. It's a rainy, dreary, cloudy, dark Wednesday morning, but I'm glad you could join me for our time together and this ongoing conversation that we have around Scripture and what it means for us and how we then apply it to our daily lives. So, as always, I'm grateful that you join me for our time together and choose to be with me and carve out time in your day to do that. So, a reminder that tonight is our final Advent Wednesday night. If you haven't had a chance to come to an Advent Wednesday night, tonight's your night. We're going to have chili soup. Lori's making salad. Mindy's making cookies. The soup is cooking right now, actually. So we have lots of... The video is called The Miracle of Christmas. And our speaker in the videos has been excellent in these past few weeks. And we'll take some notes and we'll talk about what it means for us, and we'll share in some good fellowship. We'll light our Advent candles. So all of that's coming up. So hopefully you'll join us tonight. So before we go further, I'm going to place flame to my Christ candle. As always, it is a reminder of the presence of the Holy Spirit with us. So I invite you to light your candle if you have one with you, and invite the presence of the Holy Spirit with you. So I've chosen for this morning verses 9 through 12. This is the story of the sages, those wise ones that come from afar. After they had heard the king, they went on their way. The star they had seen when it rose ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. We've been talking a lot about light and being the light of the world, how the stars, the angels, show up and announce these things to the people who are important in the story. We've talked about all their names. I don't have to re-say them again, but we haven't really talked about the wise men. They don't appear in the lectionary every year. They do this year, but they don't every year. But we know that they have this conversation and they're sent by Herod to go because he wants to find out where Jesus is. And so they are led by a star. Now, not just any star, but this bright star that shines in the northwest and guides them along their way. I got to thinking about how it is we find our way in life. You know, it used to be maps and atlases, and I never really got very good at reading maps. It used to be, we'd stop at gas stations and get directions, and if you're like me, you may not have listened very well, or the directions were, well, if you go clear up there to Johnson's old barn and turn right and turn at the old Lewis place, these places that didn't exist anymore, it made it hard to get where you were going. For a while there, we had the GPSs, and I have one on my desk somewhere, and we hung them in the front of our windshield, and we could put in their destination, and it would talk to us, and that was a pretty novel thing. One of the things we always joke about is that it would give a destination or arrival time, and we'd always try to beat that time. I used the GPS a lot when I was on staff at the conference, finding all these churches that I was going to in the middle of nowhere. Now, the stuff's built into our car. It's called navigation. My car has it. Press the button, tell you where you want to go, set as destination. You can also set waypoints. You can have it stop at a restaurant, have it stop at a rest area, and it gets you to where you're going to go. It's also on our phones. You can put it in your phone, put in an address, and your phone can get you there. And then, if you're like me, my phone is linked to my car, and they all just work together. We find our way. I got to thinking about what it is that we do in life to find our way to the Messiah. But more importantly, I wonder often what we're distracted by. I know we live in busy times. There's lots to do right now. parties to attend, places to go to, concerts. I see parents and grandparents go to concerts. We have one Thursday for Weston, going to his program at school. There's all of that to do and all the things that take our attention. But what is it that keeps us from recognizing the Christ, from being ready? We've tried really hard in worship, really hard, to help you get ready. We've had people, 6, 7 different people besides me, tell the story of hope in their lives and what it means for them. Tell the story of peace in their lives and how they find peace. Tell the story of joy in their lives. And you've had the opportunity to be here, if you've chosen to be here, and to hear those stories and to reflect on how it is that those things help us find their way to the Messiah. This week, it's about love. We're going to talk about love. I'm going to take a little different approach to it than what you might expect. Usually when I say we're going to talk about love, you expect me to say, love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself, and probably that will come out at me. But I'm also going to take a little different approach. What's guiding us in our lives? What keeps us focused? What keeps us grounded? What keeps us ready to go to the next thing? How do we know? How do we know that we're following the right star? I think it's a message from God that's given to us when we arrive at the place and we see, as the wise men did, the babe in the manger and brought their gifts. These are priestly gifts. These are holy gifts. I suppose that's why in ancient lore they're called the wise men. Now what follows the story is a lot of what we don't know. We're not told. We're told that they were told in a dream to stay away from Herod, and so they go home by a different route. But I suspect that they got home differently than they left. I don't mean by the route. I mean by their hearts and their spirits and about who God was. They returned, I believe, changed people because they encountered wonder after wonder in their pursuit of the baby Jesus. Their journey wasn't a wasted one. It led them to the King of Kings. Our journey is so important. It's something that I long for us. That's why we've taken such great steps all this Advent season to try to give everyone something to grab a hold of, to make your journey worthwhile. We'll do it again tonight. We'll do it again Sunday morning. We'll do it again Tuesday night on Christmas Eve. We'll do it again Sunday, December 29th. This ongoing journey that we go on together to be the light of the world. Our journey is not wasted, my friends. I wonder if inside of us, in our journey, we need to find wonder in our lives, wherever we are in our story. We can wander around, but I hope we find wonder, the wonder of the Messiah. That's what happened to these magi who went, who listened, and then listened to God and went home by this different route. And their lives were forever changed. Maybe, you've heard the story too much. Maybe we think we have it all figured out. Maybe we don't need to come to church and light the candles and hear about what it is that God's doing in us. Maybe we are too busy. We got too much going on and we fall down Sunday way too tired to even find our way. But the star that led the wise men, is the star that continues to lead us on our journey. I hope we look up. I hope we find it. I hope we gravitate to it. I hope we have the courage to hear God yet again in our lives. That's our daily word for today. Hope I see you tonight at 6 o'clock. Know of God's love that surrounds you. Know of my love for you. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day.